Breaking. The Fever are waving. DeWanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Arie McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched.
Natasha Howard just dropped a social media bombshell that's shaking the entire WNBA.
Minutes ago, obviously after the whole DeWanna Bonner situation. Immediately posting song lyrics to a song called We Not Done. We Not Done. Yeah, we not done.
Minutes after DeWanna Bonner abruptly quit on the Indiana Fever, Howard went on Instagram and called out her teammate with a message so clear even a toddler could decode it. But Bonner didn't sit quietly. She clapped back with a cryptic but fiery post, warning her critics that they'd soon regret labeling her a quitter.
DeWanna Bonner. I guess this is her Insta face, her Instagram, as the kids call it, her IG. She posts this right here.
The drama has fans choosing sides and players trading subtle jabs, leaving everyone wondering, was Bonner's exit justified, or did she selfishly abandon her team when they needed her most? The truth will shock you as the hatred is deeper than it seems.
I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. This was the most unprofessional way of going about things that you could have possibly went. Because I genuinely, the way she went about it, I really thought it was something really bad happened. And what made me start to question her reasoning was, I was like, Alyssa Thomas is playing. You know, Steph White's case, she was out for personal reasons. But Lisa was also out, so we were like, okay, it's probably something personal in the family. DeWanna Bonner situation, she said, oh, out for personal reasons, but Alyssa Thomas was playing.
DeWanna Bonner's sudden departure from the Indiana Fever wasn't just shocking, it was downright baffling. Mid-season exits aren't unheard of, but Bonner's vague explanation of personal reasons set off immediate red flags. Fans quickly speculated if there were hidden family emergencies, health concerns, or perhaps friction behind the scenes. However, those suspicions intensified dramatically when Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's partner, continued playing as normal.
Again, just to recap, said she was taking time away from the team for personal reasons. I thought she was dealing with like a death in the family or something. I thought, no, we're not going to talk about that. That's her business. And next thing you know, we look up and we're hearing she doesn't care about being with the team. She doesn't want to be with the team. And then we find out she wants out of town and tells all the other teams, don't pick me up. If I'm waived, don't pick me up. I'm going to the Mercury, where her girlfriend plays.
Social media lit up with questions. Why would one partner step away while the other stayed on the court? The confusion and curiosity grew louder by the hour, fueled by silence from Bonner's camp. This mysterious exit left her teammates and fans stunned, searching for answers that just weren't coming. But Natasha Howard wasn't content waiting quietly, and what she did next sparked even more chaos.
She's out going posting We Not Done. And I don't know, again, I'm not going to say there's a shot at DeWanna Bonner, because at the end of the day, there is a non-zero chance that she sat down all the team, apologized to the team, said it wasn't working out, and while they'll be pissed.
Howard's response wasn't subtle, it was explosive. Almost immediately after Bonner's abrupt exit, Natasha Howard took to Instagram, posting pointed lyrics from the song We Not Done. To casual viewers, this might have seemed innocent, but to anyone paying attention, it was a direct shot at Bonner. Adding fuel to the fire, Howard dramatically unfollowed Bonner on social media, only to refollow shortly after, clearly signaling her frustration. Fans picked up on this instantly, sharing screenshots and speculating about the brewing drama. But Bonner wasn't about to let the accusations of being a quitter slide. She fired back on her own Instagram, writing defiantly, "A quitter? Nah, never been that. But when the time comes, let's just make sure the apologies are just as loud as the disrespect."
A quitter in caps. Nah, never been that. Maybe never been it, but if the shoe fits now, it is what it is. But when the time comes, quote, let's just make sure the apologies are just as loud as the disrespect. In due time, DeWanna Bonner.
Now, instead of calming things down, Bonner's cryptic message set social media ablaze, escalating tensions even further. But the question remained, what exactly pushed Howard to publicly confront Bonner like this? DeWanna Bonner was brought into Indiana to be the steady veteran, the proven winner who could guide young stars like Caitlin Clark to greatness. With a significant $200,000 contract, the Fever front office clearly expected Bonner's championship experience to solidify team chemistry and boost morale. Instead, just 14 games into the season, Bonner abruptly abandoned the project, leaving the team reeling. She wasn't injured, she wasn't traded, and she wasn't waived. She simply walked away because things weren't aligning exactly as she wanted.
Thank God. Good riddance. You quit on the team. See ya. Peace. Whatever. Go away. Bye-bye now.
Meanwhile, Natasha Howard, initially criticized for not being the perfect fit, quietly stepped up and showed her true colors. Despite challenges, frustrations, and imperfect circumstances, Howard chose to fight, staying committed to her teammates and organization. The stark contrast between Howard's loyalty and Bonner's sudden exit paints a telling picture. One veteran stayed to build something special, while the other fled at the first sign of adversity. But Howard's next move made it clear that loyalty wasn't her only motivation.
If she'd have been gracious and professional when issuing her statement yesterday, in being very friendly, thanking fans, it's been a rough time, it was a hard adjustment, but I appreciate you Indiana Fever fans. She didn't say a damn word about the fans, and if you think that doesn't light a fan base on fire, shit.
Howard didn't just voice frustration for herself, she spoke up because Bonner's sudden exit threw the entire team into chaos. By quitting mid-season, Bonner didn't just leave a vacant spot on the roster, she triggered a domino effect of problems. The Fever were forced into emergency moves, hurriedly bringing back Arie McDonald on a hardship contract, all to patch the unexpected hole Bonner left behind. Mid-season roster changes can crush team morale, break chemistry, and derail momentum, and Bonner knew this. Natasha Howard recognized the severity of the situation and broke the unwritten athlete code by publicly calling out her teammate. Her Instagram posts weren't impulsive venting, they were calculated messages highlighting Bonner's unprofessional actions and their impact on the team. Howard's blunt honesty pulled back the curtain on locker room tensions, showing fans exactly how much damage Bonner's departure caused. But Howard didn't just leave it there, then her next move sent a crystal clear message to Fever fans everywhere.
We watched them attack DeWanna with racial slurs when she chose to come to the Fever. Indiana Fever fans went into full-blown defense mode right there. No, she's one of ours now. You're not going to do it. We watched them attack her again when she broke the scoring record to the point she had to lock her account. Now, those same people are criticizing, quote, that fan base because they are upset that she literally refused to play while the team was struggling.
Howard knew fans were hurting. After years of disappointment, they finally saw hope in the Fever's new young core led by Caitlin Clark. Bonner's sudden departure risked undoing all that progress, threatening to shake the supporters' trust once again. Recognizing this, Howard didn't just vent frustration, she sent a powerful message of reassurance. By posting "We Not Done," she declared her loyalty to the organization and made a statement that quitting wasn't an option for her. This was Howard stepping up as the true veteran leader, openly pledging her commitment when the team needed stability the most. Her words resonated deeply, reminding fans that despite Bonner's shocking exit, the Fever's fight wasn't over. Howard transformed a potentially demoralizing moment into an inspiring rallying cry, uniting fans and teammates behind a renewed sense of purpose. But beyond boosting morale, Howard's bold statement carried strategic implications that could impact both players' futures in ways no one anticipated. Howard's public stand wasn't just about rallying her teammates, it was a strategic masterstroke for her own career. By openly confronting Bonner's decision, Natasha Howard highlighted a critical contrast: loyalty versus selfishness. Future teams, coaches, and executives watching closely now clearly saw Howard as reliable, committed, and unshakable under pressure, whereas Bonner suddenly became viewed as a player who might abandon ship when circumstances got tough.
What Bonner did would piss off any actual fans of sports. 110% correct.
Howard essentially used this moment to boost her professional stock, positioning herself as a cornerstone player every franchise desires, someone willing to face adversity head-on. On the other hand, Bonner's reputation took a massive hit, her name now forever linked with questions about her commitment. Teammates, coaches, and executives across the league took note, knowing they'd need reassurance before trusting her again. The ripple effect from this clash will undoubtedly echo beyond this season, shaping both women's reputations and their basketball futures in drastically different ways. But perhaps the worst consequence of Bonner's mid-season exit was yet to come.
Number one, even if you believe you didn't quit, it's our right to say you did if our opinion is such. We have that right. The fan base has that right. I mean, DeWanna Bonner can be mad and be like, I didn't quit on them. That's great. But you need to look at all the steps that happened here. And what do you think it looks like?
Bonner's mid-season exit wasn't just problematic. It was disastrous timing that could cripple any team's chemistry. Leaving in the offseason allows teams to adapt and rebuild, but abandoning teammates in the heat of competition leaves behind a trail of unresolved chaos. Suddenly, coaches scramble to adjust rotations, teammates struggle to fill unfamiliar roles, and trust within the locker room starts to fracture. For the Fever, Bonner's sudden absence forced emergency signings and lineup shuffles, far from ideal for a team fighting for relevance. Natasha Howard understood this deeply, which explains why her frustration spilled so publicly onto social media. Howard wasn't just annoyed, she was defending her team from instability and confusion. When she called out Bonner's actions, Howard was signaling to her teammates that the fight wasn't over, that unity and loyalty still mattered. Her public stance also sent a stern message to the rest of the league. The Fever wouldn't crumble just because one player gave up. But even more significant was how Howard's decisive leadership would shape the team's future. And the young star, Caitlin Clark. For young talents like Caitlin Clark, Howard's decision to publicly address Bonner's departure sent a crucial message about professional responsibility. And when a respected veteran quits mid-season, it can poison team morale and teach younger players dangerous lessons about giving up when times get tough. But Howard seized the moment to flip the narrative entirely. By making a firm, public declaration that quitting wasn't acceptable, she demonstrated exactly how seasoned professionals should handle adversity, with grit, accountability, and commitment. Instead of crumbling under the weight of Bonner's exit, Howard helped the Fever rally around a common goal, instilling resilience into the team's culture. Her actions became a blueprint for the younger players on how to respond to future setbacks. Clark, who had just begun building her legacy, now had a vivid example of leadership under pressure. Natasha Howard didn't just step up, she reshaped the identity of the Indiana Fever, transforming turmoil into a powerful bonding moment that could carry the team forward for years, but the impact of Howard's stand would stretch even further, potentially redefining what it means to be a leader in the WNBA. Howard's leadership in this moment didn't just influence her teammates, it sent shockwaves across the entire WNBA. In a league where locker room issues are usually handled quietly behind the scenes, her bold decision to go public broke the mold. It showed that professionalism isn't just about putting up numbers, it's about showing up, especially when things aren't perfect. Howard took a risk by calling out a fellow veteran, but in doing so, she elevated her own reputation and forced a necessary conversation about accountability. Fans, analysts, and even rival players began to take notice. This wasn't petty drama, this was a veteran drawing a line in the sand, saying that loyalty to your team matters more than personal comfort. And it struck a chord. Social media lit up with praise for Howard's honesty and integrity, with many calling her the true heartbeat of the Fever. In contrast, Bonner's reputation continued to unravel as more people questioned her leadership and long-term value. Howard had not only won the respect of her locker room, she had positioned herself as one of the most dependable voices in the league. And in doing so, she may have changed how leadership is judged across women's basketball. What started as a cryptic Instagram story turned into a full-blown statement of who's truly built for the grind of professional basketball and who isn't. DeWanna Bonner's decision to walk away mid-season didn't just leave a gap in the Indiana Fever's lineup, it exposed a deeper issue about commitment, leadership, and accountability. While she defended herself with a fiery post claiming she's never been a quitter, the damage was already done. Her exit left teammates scrambling, fans disappointed, and her legacy in serious question. In a league desperate for stability, professionalism, and role models for the next generation, Howard proved she's exactly that. And while Bonner's next chapter remains uncertain, one thing is crystal clear: walking away when it's hard doesn't earn respect. Standing firm, speaking truth, and fighting for your team does. The Fever may have lost a player, but they gained a leader. And sometimes that trade-off changes everything.